What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. He got bumped. He got bumped off. So we're going to try this again, y'all. I give y'all time to slowly creep back in. I don't know what happened just a minute ago, but y'all know what it is. I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist tonight because I hadn't even really got going yet. But I'm not gonna be a conspiracy theorist. But what I will ask y'all to do, of course, like always, is click that like button as you come into the door. And we'll try this again, man. And I will hopefully get an opportunity to explain this title to y'all. I hopefully can explain this title to y'all. And, once I explain it, y'all will be like, okay, yeah, you probably already, it's pretty simple. I try not to be too overheads on these live streams. I try to, make the conversation as clear cut as possible. But as you come in, click the like button, click that little thumbs up button that you see. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, be sure to do so. I noticed yesterday that we are closing in on 60,000 subs, 60,000 subscribers, which, that's cool. 60,000 subscribers is cool. That's a cool number. But it really don't mean nothing if it's not 60,000 people, or at least the majority, or at least half of those people that are engaging on the channel on a regular basis. And that's what it's like, on my channel. It's really kind of like that on a lot of channels, even a lot of the bigger channels. You may have people that got 2, 3, 4, 500,000 subscribers or more, but they don't all engage. You may get 20,000 views, 50,000 views on the video, but you got 1 million subscribers. So it's like sometimes people just subscribe just because they subscribe, and then they just go on with their life like, they don't even remember if they subscribed or not. And a lot of times they think that they're doing you a favor. They go, well, I'm subscribing, but you're not really supporting unless you frequently visit the channel, or you engage in the content. Now, if you're not a fan of the content, you may have jumped the gun and subscribed, and now oh man, I didn't know this channel was like that. That's not for me. Then 9,000 or something coming up on 60,000 subscribers is cool. We don't get 60,000 subscribers worth of engagement, so it's really not a big deal. But nevertheless, I appreciate those, you who consistently rock with your big brother. Those of you who have consistently engaged and are always, on the front lines with the content, because the content is laid out with the intention to make us better. And I say us because I'm speaking about myself too. When I say us, a lot of times when I'm talking to me too, unless it's just something that's just like, nah, that ain't me. But, a lot of times, I'm putting myself in that category too. So click the like button, and if you haven't already. And what we'll do, we'll get right into it. The topic is loud guilt, quiet innocence. And I thought about that because I was just thinking about how the world works. But to break it down to just a microcosm of the United States of America, because I don't live in any other part of the world. I live right here in the good old States of America, where so much joy is gained from tearing down people, whether they're powerful, famous, rich people, all the way down to just regular people. There's a sense of power and joy that this country gets from doing that. And all it takes is for us to make one false move, to one slip up, one mistake that puts you in that light, that puts you in that position where they can empty the barrel on you. And I don't mean empty the barrel like this, just in a literal sense. I mean empty the barrel of slander, of criticism, media scrutiny, public opinion, uh, ridicule, everything you can think of. That barrel that gets emptied out on any individual who gets caught up in a scandal or whatever. There's an overflow of I don't want to use the word attack, but sometimes it is an attack. But there's an overflow of exposure that comes along with those kind of mistakes. And even if the person is absolutely guilty of what they did, and if the name of the person is big enough, then it's like, okay, well, quite naturally, it's gonna garner some media coverage, and I mean that's just the way of the world. But a lot of times it's just over the top. It's overkill. And we can name all the examples. We could think of all, we can go back. We don't even have to go back 10, 15, 25 years, 30 years. We can go back 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months where we can pluck out situations where the media was ready to destroy a person because of them being on the opposite side of how they think, how the powers think, and how you should be thinking. You're not thinking the way we want you to think. So we got to tear you down or wait for you to make a mistake. And in some cases, not wait for you to make a mistake, but on a deeper level, y'all, whether you want to believe it or whether you want to accept it or not, to actually bait you into making a mistake. Because don't get it twisted at all. This system has a way of baiting you into setting yourself up, because they study you. They study us. They study our tendencies. They know your likes, your dislikes, the things you love, the things you're into. They know your habits. They know your addictions. They know your fetishes. They know your triggers. They know all these different things because they study you. See, social media is an experimental tool. It's an experiment. It's an experimental tool that's used on us for years now, and it's a field of study of behavioral patterns of the human being. We're in a lab. Social media is a laboratory, and we are the subjects. We are the lab rats. And we do things, they put things out there, they see how we react to it, they see how we move, they study. They might as well have on lab coats. Hey, y'all hit that like button if you haven't already, man. So they can promote certain things to us that get us going. Oh, I like that. Let me click that. Let me see that. Let me see that. And nobody's exempt from it. So if you go over the top, if you go too far, if it drives you to the point where you say, oh man, this social media has planted a seed for my fetish, but I need to fulfill it. Let me go down to the massage parlor, and let me see if I can get this happy ending. But you're a pretty big name guy. You're a pretty known person. So it leaks out because there's somebody that works in there that's going to know it's you. Ooh, what is he doing here? Ooh, wow. Pull my phone out. Ooh, let me try to get a little sneak peek. I could sell this to TMZ. And before you know it, you're on blast. And America being so dirty like they are, America will paint itself out to be such a loving, beautiful, wonderful, magical place. But underneath that is a relentless, evil, unforgiving nation. Unforgiving to the degree of the slightest thing that you do, depending on who you are and depending on the level of hate that they have for you, or the level of fear that they have of you because of power and influence that you might have. Depending on that, that will determine how much they pour on top of you. Because people like that, people who they hate and people who they fear, when they get the jump on you, the intention is to bury you. They don't ever want to have you rise up from those ashes again, because you are a threat to what it is they're trying to get done. So even if what you did registers as a 2 on the scale, if it's a 2 out of a 10, they're going to magnify it to make it appear to be a 10 out of a 10. 11 out of 10. They're going to magnify it. They're going to pump it up. They're going to make it worse than what it is. They're going to make you out to be the worst of the worst. How do we know this? Because we talk about the playbook all the time. America's like a football team. They got a playbook. They've been running plays out this book for centuries. So the same plays that they are running on the little men and women, same plays they run on their citizens, these are the same plays that they run against their international enemies, the enemies from other nations. These are the same plays. So they will build up the image of a foreign ruler, a foreign president of another nation. And if there's an interest that they have, or if there's a beef that they have with them, they have to sway the thinking of the American public into believing that that person that they got that beef with in that other nation is an evil person. Could that person be evil? Yeah, they could, but not no more evil than the people who rule this nation. So mind your business. But when you have this thing where you have always presented yourself to be so pure and wholesome, and you insult the intelligence of everybody else on the planet, when you present that image to actually present it in a way that you think that the rest of the world is stupid, the rest of the world ain't stupid. The rest of the world is knowledgeable to how America moves. They're knowledgeable to the history of all of the atrocities. Y'all like that word? All of the atrocities that have been carried out against other nations by America for the sake of taking whatever it is they have an interest in. So that's a playbook. But they have to make the people think their leader is crazy. Their leader is a dictator. Their leader is a homicidal maniac. A country can't really run, man. If a country is being run by a homicidal maniac, a household can't stand under the control of a homicidal maniac, because sooner or later it's not gonna be long before he destroys it. So when you have nations that have been up and running for decades and decades and decades, and in some cases century or so, then it's not logical to believe that the people who are running this nation they're just insane. And sometimes if you dig a little bit deeper, you realize, well, wait a minute, this person is not who American media is making them out to be. Is the person perfect? Nope. But like I said, show me one that is. And I know for a fact the home team ain't. The home team ain't. So these same slander campaigns, these same things that they do on an international scale, they do the same thing to you. They do the same thing to me. They do the same thing to us. So any act that's carried out, any mistake, any slip up that you make, if they want to take you out, they're going to make it seem to be the worst thing that man has ever done. Somebody famous gets caught with some drugs. It gets discovered that they got a drug problem. All over the news. And they love to do it to black people. Well, we get it. All over the news, all over the newspaper. Look at this thug. Look at this clown. Look at this fool. Look at this ungrateful whatever. Get caught at the parlor, at the massage parlor, trying to get that happy ending. Look at him. All over the newspaper, all over social media, all over the TV screen. The worst of the worst. Sexually assault somebody. I ain't condoning none of this. I'm getting somewhere with it, because I'm going to touch on how we need to make sure that we move the right way. Because if they try to hit you with something and it's not true, then you got the laws of justice and righteousness on your side. Then you can stand strong, you know, and innocent people get jammed up all the time. But on the same token, you feel a lot better knowing that somebody is lying on you than you do when you know, yeah, I did it. I got to try to fight my way out of it. When you know that somebody is lying on you, you got a little more uprightness. You got a little more bass in your voice when you know that somebody trying to jam you up. So control the things that you are able to control. The things that you're not able to control, amen, may God be with us. But I'm not condoning nothing that anybody does. I'm just saying that when you do it, even when it's small, you ain't got to go to the levels of sexually assault or domestic abuse and nothing like that. You ain't got to go to those levels. They're going to make it seem like you did something like that on that level. You got arrested 15 years ago. Before you became famous, you got arrested. Before you became the mayor, you got arrested because you had a fight at a club when you was 23. You hit somebody over the head with a bottle. They find all that. You had a weed case when you were 17 years old, had to go to juvenile or something like that. Now you're 37, 43, haven't done anything since. But anything that happens, they're going straight back to that. Because they got to try to find something that can contribute to smearing your name, a smear campaign. See? So this is the playbook. Now on the flip side of all that, what happens when the smear campaign pops off and they've done everything in their power to bring you down? They've accessed all of their resources. They've deployed all of their weapons to try to destroy your name, to destroy your image, to ruin your career, to cut off your livelihood. You can't even make a living. Just to destroy the image that others have of you. I mean, they try to bring you down to oblivion. But what happens when all that pops off and then something magical happens where they find out, oops, he didn't even do it. Oh my gosh, he was innocent. There's no balance, meaning that as loud as you was when you was trying to tear him down, when you thought he was guilty, when you find out he's innocent, it's real quiet now. Even when they call themselves trying to clean it up, or trying to, I won't say clean it up, trying to make it right, it's real quiet. You have had people who have been falsely accused of crimes and arrested and have served many years of their life behind bars for crimes that they didn't commit. The negative headlines always are more overpowering than any positive headlines. Well, matter of fact, positivity don't make headlines. Put that on a t-shirt. Positivity don't make headlines. It's too boring. Nobody want to read about nothing like that. That's not going to make the front page. But all of the hype that came with when he got accused of the murder, when they pulled on the emotional strings, everybody's heart, because, you know, unfortunately somebody lost their life and, you know, the community wanted answers, and, you know, rightfully so. But the police department didn't do their due diligence and finding and going, getting down to the root and finding out who actually did it. They just wanted to deliver somebody to be able to say, hey, look, we did it. We said, look how quick we solved the case, but you got the wrong one. You popped the wrong person. And even when, this is why the justice system is trash. Because even when there's no evidence linking a person to a crime, there's witnesses that are saying, hey, no, it wasn't him. No, that's not the guy. Or they describe somebody that's total opposite. Alibi line up. No, that dude was at work. I was working right next to him. I was flipping burgers right next to him. Even whatever it is that works in the favor of the accused, when they lock down on a person and decide this is who we got to get because we got to get somebody, it's loud. Press conference. Case closed. And meanwhile, the person who really did it, they sit at home watching the news like, whoo, man. They ain't got no problem letting somebody else's life be ruined behind something that they didn't do if they can get away with it. So now 20 years pass, 25 years pass, and the person gets exonerated, whether it be DNA, whether it be somebody who knew what happened back in 1991, and they finally decided to come forward and tell, or whatever, however it goes down. Now this person is released. He an old man now. He was 31 when he went in the prime of his life. Now he's almost 60. Life pretty much over. That is met with almost with relative silence. And I'm not expecting loudness for the person who was finally exonerated. Yeah, you want that all over on blast. You want it on blast to low, hey man, this man was innocent because his reputation was ruined. His life was ruined. His name was ruined. All these different things were destroyed for this man. So yeah, you want it to be out that, hey man, no, it wasn't him. You want that to be screamed from the mountaintop, but that ain't the noise. That's not the only noise we're looking for. Just as big or bigger noise that we're looking for the noise to be loud, aimed at those who falsely accused and arrested him in the first place. Why is that so quiet? See, that's the part that's quiet. They want to keep that. We messed up, but want to keep that under the rug. No, that need to be loud. But when you don't control the media, when you have no power within those departments, when you have no power in the courts, you can only be so loud. And when you have no unity among us the way it needs to be, we can only be so loud. So it'll only be a handful of people outside the courthouse with signs and rallying and making noise. Sometimes it's a little more, but it's not enough. And even those who have the power, the passion to keep it going, not enough of us join on to that. So his innocence is silent now. So you hear the story, but tomorrow it's gone. It's out of there. Because it's no balance, it's no accountability within the departments. Because they all in cahoots. And even when they pay you off, and say, hey, we're sorry, we got the wrong guy, but you did 32 years, we're going to give you $1 million. $1 million for 32 years, even if it's 5. What's the most money that y'all have ever heard of somebody who was falsely incarcerated for long periods of time? What's the most money that y'all have ever heard that they were granted? You know, as far as in a lawsuit after the fact. If y'all are familiar with any of that. I've seen millions given out before. Rush said like 30 million, but that's rare. But the question that you got to ask is this. If you was 25 years old, some of y'all in here might be 25 years old. I'm not talking about nobody that's 35, 40, 50 years old? Because I know the answer to that question. If you was 25 years old and somebody told you, say, man, if you take the rap for this crime, if you go to jail, if you go to prison for 25 years, we just need you to go to prison for 25 years. You 25 years old, you get out when you 50, and they're going to give you $30 million. Would you take that? Would you say, I just got to do 25 years, and when I get out at 50, I'm going to have $30 million? Would you take that deal? They gas you up and say, well, man, look, man, you're going to be 50, but look, your family going to be set. When you get out, you're going to be good. Would you take that deal? So you get out, but what happened to you within them 25 years that you was incarcerated in prison? Prison ain't a picnic. So what happens in that 25 years to make it worth it? The most of y'all who were saying no, I believe you. You know why? Because that is a bearing of witness that money ain't everything. And money is not more valuable than time. Money ain't more valuable than time. You're not guaranteed to survive. Something happened to you, you get shanked up the first 5 months you in there, you dead. So money is not more valuable than time. That's why y'all are saying, no, I wouldn't do it. So why'd you say money can't resurrect? So no matter how much money that they give somebody, there's a level of trauma that person still is having to deal with, especially when they know they didn't do it. They didn't do it. And especially when you have lost the best years of your life. Little baby was 1 year old when you went to prison. Your baby grown, don't even know who you are. Your son or your daughter might have went down the wrong road because you wasn't there to raise them and guide them the right way. That ain't worth no $30 million, $10 million, $20 million. It ain't worth it. Your son might end up in the prison with you. You may become a monster from the experience of being in there. It might change you for the worse. They might lie and not even give you the money when you get out. Boy, this system here. But the point is that when they make those mistakes like that, the apologies and the cleanup efforts and all that, it's real quiet. They don't hold themselves accountable. I talked about Michael Irvin a couple of weeks ago, or whenever that was. And I talked about how quickly, once the allegation came out that he had done something wrong, just the accusation, ESPN and all of the networks that he was affiliated with and worked with fired him instantly. He was off the air instantly. I don't see how they had it. It's no way they could have done, I won't even say a thorough investigation. It's no way they could have investigated at all. It's like they just said, okay, what'd he do? Oh, really? All right, I'll call y'all back. Hey, Mike, man, we gotta let you go, man. Wait, what? Ah, man, they said you this or that. Ain't checked out nothing. So now it's all over the news. Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin. And a lot of it has to do with an individual's past, an individual's reputation. If you got a guy who may have been in a few situations in his past that he overcame, now the rope is a little shorter for certain people. It's like somebody that got priors on their record. So the judge says, okay, well, you got a criminal history. You know, they quicker to lay the hammer down on somebody than they would if somebody is the first time offender. But these days, the first time offender might get it. But the point is, they snatched the rug off and under that man so fast. Nobody's saying nothing in his defense. Now, in the last few weeks, it's looking like, according to things that are starting to pop out and emerge, it's looking like, it's looking like Mike didn't do nothing. Mike had 3 witnesses that spoke on his behalf and said, no, we saw him talking to that lady, we saw, but we didn't see nothing unusual. These were like 2, 3 white dudes that were saying this, right? So now it's starting to look like Michael Irvin might have been falsely accused. So much so that he has been speaking on his own behalf, and I've seen one report where he is actually getting ready to start issuing out lawsuits of his own. Rightfully so. So now that that's going on, why is it so quiet? Why is nobody? Why the news stations? Why isn't? I know there's probably an investigation going on. They probably said, well, during the investigation, it's not wise to speaking on. But it ain't even about the people who may be directly involved or his former employers or nothing like that. You ain't hearing it from nobody. You ain't hearing from none of these news networks that don't have a connection to it where they could intervene or mess with the investigation. You hardly hearing from. It's a few people on the internet, YouTube cats and all that are touching on it, that are keeping their story out there on Michael Irvin's behalf. But you ain't hearing it from a lot of these other cats. And if it becomes clear cut that he didn't do it, they find nothing that points to him being guilty of what it is they're accusing him of being guilty of. If they don't find that, what's going to happen? Is he going to get a public apology from ESPN? Are they going to say, hey man, we want to offer you a job back, man, and we want to apologize to you on air? Or the bosses who actually were responsible for pulling the trigger and firing him, are they gonna show themselves on TV and say, hey, we as the CEOs of Disney, ABC, that's who owns ESPN, we made a terrible mistake, man? Are they gonna do that? Or is it just gonna be, well, hey, come on, man. The innocence is always gonna be quiet. It's always gonna be hidden. Always gonna be hidden. Let's see what y'all talking about, man. Go back in time a little bit. Magnetica says, I know of one guy that Got 10 years. He got 10 years for stealing 10 grand. They are attempting at every turn to destroy our image, to make examples of us before the world. They'll make examples of us before the world, guilty or innocent. Being guilty only puts them in a position to really just bolster down, to just bolster up whatever it is that they're going to do to you, because they feel justified now. But a lot of times they know that they know that people are innocent, man. Remember the Central Park 5? Who remembers the Central Park 5? Those young brothers that got accused, what was it, accused of a rape? And they served all that time because they were young. And when they got brought into custody, they were intimidated into making false confessions by the police department. Because, believe it or not, to all of you naive little children out there, the police departments are corrupt. They do stuff like that. They will take young, scared minors and they'll tell them, hey man, look, man, you might as well go and tell me the truth, because we're going to find out anyway. So if you don't tell me the truth, man, look, you can sign right now, man. You can sign for 20 years, man. You're 17, you'll be out before you're 40, but if we go to trial, if you try to keep on with this lie, you tell them, man, you gonna get life. You're gonna get the death penalty. You're gonna get, so that'll scare a young man, knowing he didn't do it. Because he don't know. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, I did it. But he didn't do it. And you had people who, again, just wanted a conviction. Got to get a conviction. We got to get somebody to satisfy the people. Don't matter if the real rapist is still running around. We got to get on TV and do this press conference. So those boys served all that time in jail. Them boys got out, they was grown men. They made a few little runs. They might have went on Oprah or something like that. They made a few little runs where you saw them and they got a chance to kind of tell their story. But it wasn't loud enough, man. Their innocence was not as loud as their guilt, all the way up to when Trump was the president at the time. There was no evidence connecting them to this crime whatsoever. Trump still wanted them to be locked up. Still wanted them, still talked down on them. It's like, dude, the jig is up. They didn't do it. Everybody knows they didn't do it. The most racist of the racists know they didn't do it. They shut up. He still was like, but y'all love these folks, man. Y'all love Joe Biden. Y'all love Donald Trump. Y'all love Hillary Clinton. So when you make a mistake, man, the backlash is always loud, bro. It's loud. Let me see what y'all talking about. Talking about Michael Irvin said he should go to Barstool Sports. Bet they cut him a check. They got a few channels even. I mean, and that's cool, and Angelo, but I mean, these are examples of why we should have our own media outlets. We should be able to combat any negative press that this American mainstream media tries to impose on us, because it's a powerful, powerful machine that we don't have the playing field is not even. It's not level to where we can fight against them, because our voice is not going to be as loud as theirs, but we can create something. We can create a unit that, if we attract enough of our people, we can make a louder noise than we make in these little pockets here and there. This guy over here, he's pretty good. This guy over there, she's pretty thorough with it, because we also got to combat against our own people that's joining in with the mainstream media. We got too many sellouts on that look like us, that hop on the back of what Fox and CNN and ESPN and all those, all of the devil networks, they hop right on and co-sign the misinformation. That's how a lot of our young brothers and sisters get caught up. When they discover that you was right all along, they quiet as a church mouse. They don't even have the humility to just say, yeah, we were wrong. Oops. They won't even say, my bad. You can't even get a my bad, because they never intended that for you in the first place. Never intended that for you in the first place. I'm reading y'all's comments right now, y'all. Give me a second. If you don't work, you don't eat. Said my pops did 25 years, and I missed out on certain lessons only a father could teach, and none of his partners looked out for me. I mean, that's the nature of the beast, man. That's the nature of the game. It's like, we are responsible for ourselves and our own. We're responsible for that. Because the old saying is, hey, man, a pair of lips to say anything, right? So it's easy for somebody to say early on, hey, man, don't worry about it, man. Your son ain't gonna have to worry about nothing, man. I got him, bro. I got him. And they might have had you for a few months. Might have shot your mama a little change every now and then, or stretched it out maybe a year in some cases. But after a while, man, life goes on. And the truth of the matter is, just to be real with you, it ain't even their responsibility to even to do that. Now they may be just from a just keeping it real standpoint. If we was all doing dirt together, and you got jammed up and you took the whole hit for all of us, if it's me still on the outside, yeah, I feel like I owe you. That's me. Because I know what we all did together, and you got jammed up, didn't tell on none of us, and took the whole hit. Oh yeah, I got to look out for you and yours, man, the best I can. But unfortunately, you can't expect that. Sounds good, but you can't expect that. Hit that like button, y'all, if you haven't already. If you're just coming in, man, y'all see we talking about loud guilt, quiet innocence, meaning that when you guilty, they make sure that they put it on blast. Your guilt is always going to be put on blast. But your innocent, they're going to turn that volume down on low. It's an arrogant world, an arrogant nation that we live in. And if you just want to just really prove it, think about how we think. You and me. We know how it goes when you're on the internet and you see something negative on the thumbnail picture. You see some cats squared up, squabbing. You're way quicker to click that. You can look at the views before you click it. Man, this thing got 283,000 views. It's only been up an hour. I gotta watch this. But you ain't trying to watch nothing that's just giving you some real mental and spiritual nourishment. That's gonna go way longer than the excitement you're gonna get from watching these two cats fight in the street. I ain't saying don't watch the fight. I'm gonna watch it too. But don't be unbalanced. We gravitate more towards the negativity. Positivity don't get no headlines, bro. Nobody care that you saved a kitten out of a tree. Nobody care about that. If you was going around chopping kittens' heads off, you'd be all over the news. And then the quiet aspect of it is pushed by the people who wronged you in the first place. What you mean? What you mean? Part of the reason why a lot of times the innocence is hush hush, is suppressed, is because it's suppressed by the people who accused you falsely in the first place. How do they do that? You know how they do that? Because when they pay you off, you get your little lawsuit money, or old girl accused you of sexually assaulting her, raping her. She lied on this athlete, lied on this rapper. In this particular case, you know, sometimes they didn't lie. Sometimes it really happened. But when it didn't happen, what they'll do is, okay, if you get a little money off of them, well, man, part of the stipulation of us giving you this money is that you can't go on interview. You can't do interviews. You can't go on any type of media outlets and speak on it. You got to not mention this publicly ever. And for the money, people to sign off on that. So now it just goes away. It goes away. And you also have, in certain situations, what is known as an NDA. NDA. Do y'all know what an NDA is? What does NDA stand for? Class. What's an NDA? Thank you, back porch. A non-disclosure agreement. So when you sign a non-disclosure agreement, you take away your ability to continue to defend yourself and to defend your own character and public image in certain instances. Sometimes an NDA can be signed in a mutual way, in a way that speaks to, okay, man, we had this situation with each other. I didn't like what you did. You didn't like what I did. I got the best of it. But in the interest of squashing a different kind of situation, we'll do an NDA. I won't speak on it no more. You know, that could be a lawsuit about something else. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about when somebody wronged you. But the money made us say, okay, you know, I guess for $10 million, I cannot talk about it. Pay me $10,000. I won't say nothing else about it, even though you talking about it more could bring more attention to a corrupt entity. $10 million. Hard to say what you would do in that situation. But what comes along with it also, what the $10 million or the 5 million or the 1 million or whatever the amount is, what it does not do, it still does not, in some cases, sway public opinion back into your favor. Because the court of public opinion is real. People have beat cases in the court of law, but didn't beat them in the court of public opinion. So all your life, you free, but you walking around with this cloud over your head because people, everywhere you go, people looking at you like, that's the one that. And you didn't even do it. Because all it takes is for somebody to lie on you, man. That's the kind of world we live in, man. You know how many people is locked up and dead behind somebody lying? So you sign a non-disclosure agreement. That agreement is designed to protect the one who corrupt, the one who messed over you. The police department say, oh, you can't go in media, and the media talk. That's part of the stipulation. We pay you this money because they don't want you to keep bombing on them in the media. They don't want you to keep exposing them in the media, telling on how they get down. But when you was going through it, they didn't have no problem bombing on you. They had no problem bombing on you. It was open season. ZE says, what is the black entity at the top of the screen? It's just my lens thing. Let me move it. That's funny. See, like when I raise the lens up, now it's gone. We ain't got no dark entities around here. We run all that off. But for your for your peace of mind, ZE, I'll raise it and remove it from view. We ain't got no shadow figures up in here. Even though y'all be seeing orbs and stuff every night. I don't know if that's an orb or some dust. But every time I do a video, somebody says, oh man, you got orbs flying around you. I don't know. Hope they're good orbs. So we got to watch how we move. Got to watch how we move, man. Because this is a setup world, man. This is a set up world. And they are waiting. Traps are laid. The traps are laid. It's all about, Lance Walton asked Tiger Woods, you know. Well, I mean, it's a tough thing to jump from the skillet to the frying pan. You on a stove, you got a stove in front of you, and somebody cooking you in the skillet. And the skillet is hot and burning you up. So it's so hot, you jump out the skillet, but you land in the frying pan that's on the next burner. So you're still getting cooked. And sometimes we do that to ourselves. So if you got a brother like Tiger Woods who has already been in a situation where I think he dropped like 300 million on his previous wife. He came off 300 million. And I think now he's in a situation where he may be about to come off about 30. I'm just saying, for me, none of us perfect. We all jump from the skillet to the frying pan, but the stakes ain't high. We ain't playing with them kind of figures, though. Does anybody in this chat have $30 million? If anybody in this chat has $30 million, raise your hand, because I want to become your new best friend. So the point is, we ain't playing with them kind of figures. But even if I was, I'm not in the business of just giving it away. And when you look at what we talk about loud guilt, right? Quiet innocence. Remember when Tiger got caught up that first time with his wife, the one that was the nanny that he married? They set him up. That was a setup. Do you remember how hard they came down on him in the media? Boy, they ate him up. I remember. They ate him up. Not long after they had held him up to the light like Kunta Kinte, he was the most wonderful thing that ever came along. Tiger Woods. Young golf phenom. They pumped him up. They held. That's what they do. They hold you up to the moon. And they hold you up to the moon, and then they spike you like they just scored a touchdown. So when he got jammed up in that situation, they made him out to be the devil. They talk so bad about Tiger, man. When he had that car wreck and he almost killed himself, like, oh, Tiger, he's so troubled, and they're gonna make you into the worst individual. And it's not just for you. It's not just for you, the person that's going through it, who they're tearing down in the media. It's also for your fans. They want to destroy the image that your fans and supporters have of you. They want to create an insecurity in us for any of our great leaders, athletes. The second that they slip or have a sign of weakness, they want to make us be put into a mindset with like, I can't believe in nobody no more. But when it comes to them, all they perverts and killers and murderers, they heroes. Well, what's up, Welton? My brother, man. I see you. Glad to have you in here, man. Yeah, man, stick with your brother, man. Come through. We do this every Friday night. Sometimes on other off days, but definitely every Friday. You my brother from way, way back. Yeah, man. I see my boy Marty Moore up in here, man, dead end. Up in this thing. Up in this thing like a Timmy Chan Wang. But the purpose, man, is to destroy our positive images of those who we might look up to for whatever reason. And don't get it twisted. I see you, Mars. Don't get it twisted, man. It's not to say that we are looking at athletes and entertainers as just our go-to, our singular go-to as role models, but they can be part of that inspiration that we draw to try to make us better. They could say something. Every rapper ain't talking crazy. We ain't gonna let y'all get away with that. We ain't gonna let y'all get away with slandering to make it seem like all rap music is negative. All rap music is talking about killing. All rap music is talking about over-sexualizing and exploiting women and men. All rap music is glorifying drug use. Nah, that ain't true. That's a lie. But like the guilty is put on blast, so is the negativity. So the negative music, the negative lyrics, that's put on blast. It's put on a pedestal. But the positive is suppressed, it's hid, it's tucked. They tucking that behind the back. Now the quarterback snapped the ball and he run that play with that bootleg where he tucked that ball and you don't see it, and the cameraman even get fooled. That's how they tuck the positivity away, because that's not something that they want exposed. Positivity will wake you up if it's presented in enough abundance. If it's given out, if it's distributed enough, it will wake you up. It will transform you, whether it comes out of the mouth of a rapper, a teacher, a preacher, a politician, whoever. That's not profitable, and it doesn't coincide with the current agenda. The current agenda dictates genocide. It dictates destruction of us, to each other, within ourselves, mentally, physically, and spiritually. That's what the current agenda dictates. So don't, you say Jason Whitlock blames hip hop on everything. He's not the only one. But we can't fall for that, because we should know better. Because everybody in here loves rap and hip hop to some degree, right? You may not be just on it all the time. Some people may be pure hip hop heads, always living rap. But whatever degree, you got love for it to some degree, and you have been involved in it enough to know that if somebody tell you that hip hop is to blame for every ill that's going on in the current society, you got enough sense to know that that's a lie. They said that hip hop was responsible for all the murders that take place in the black community. The lie detector test said that was a lie. It's not true. People been killing. Long before anybody ever wrote a rap, people was killing. Long before anybody ever wrote a rap, people was doing dope. People was popping pills. People was snorting cocaine. People were shooting up heroin. Long before there was ever a rap, people was pimping. People was hoeing. Long before anybody ever wrote a rap, this stuff was going on. Did y'all know that? I know y'all know that. Do rappers talk about it? Yep. Do rappers glorify it? Yep. But are there other rappers who speak against it? Yep. Are there other rappers who combat that type of content with positive content? Yep. Do record labels push and promote that type of content because it generates money at the same time? Puts us in a mindset where we become genocidal within our own communities? Yep. How do you hear it? How do you hear that kind of rap? How do we get to the radio? See? So don't let people fool you, man. Don't let people fool you. There is a level of accountability that we got to have for ourselves. We got to stop talking crazy in our music. Absolutely. But that ain't the only reason or the reason why things are the way they are. At the root of our problems, our problems existed long before rappers was rapping about and glorifying that type of stuff. There's a systemic root. Say what you want to say, but history can't lie. People can lie about history, but true history, nah. The so-called war on drugs, it was a scam. It was a setup to lock up and bump off black people and hippies at that time. They didn't like blacks. They didn't like hippies. Around the time when Nixon was the president and started speaking about this war on drugs, all the way to Reagan and Nancy Reagan, just say no and all this different stuff. Nah, man, look, man. Wasn't no war on drugs. It was a war on the hood, war on black folks, because if it's such a war on drugs, then why were y'all supplying the drugs? If it's a war on drugs, how the hell was we getting them? Getting the type of drugs that you can only get from an outside source. Can't get this stuff no other way. So the CIA was involved. Don't let them try to put that all on rap, man. How you getting high caliber military style weaponry that we walking around with right now? How you get how is that landing in the hands of just regular Negroes in the hood? How? Don't listen to none of these clowns that try to deflect and act like what I'm telling you ain't the truth. Oh, y'all are just complaining and crying. Yep. Yeah. That's what we're doing. History ain't lie. True history ain't gonna lie. Hey, man, y'all drop y'all locations, man. Where y'all at? Let me shout y'all out. Give me to 100 likes, man. Y'all ain't clicking that like button. Go on, click it right now if you haven't done that already. By the time I finish this sentence, man, we should be closing in on 100 likes. So click that thumbs up, RAT now, man. Y'all haven't done it already, man. We got more people in the chat than likes. So I know that some of y'all haven't hit the thumbs up yet. But meanwhile, drop your locations and I will shout out. I'm seeing a lot of new names in here, man. Everybody that's new. If you're new, just raise your hand. Just type in the word new. First time. I seen my homie Welton up in this thing, man. That's the hood. That's my homie. So if y'all are not subscribed to the Underground Dialogue podcast, Be sure that you do that right now as well, or when we get off of this thing. That's my new podcast. Well, I don't call it new. We've been up and running for about 3 months now. That's still pretty young. But I just typed it in the chat. The Underground Dialogue Podcast. Go on YouTube and subscribe to that like right now. Give me 4 more likes, man. Craig Kenny says his first time. Craig Kenny, first of many. Look, DJ Brown from the north side of H-Town. I see you, man. Hold on, let me go back up because I missed a lot of. I'm going to start from the beginning, man. Unholy Kill says entrapment. No, don't join the army. Spikey out there in Cali. OG Misen in the UK. Brian LaValle. Is that in New York City? New York? Magneticus out there in Emerald City. DJ Bud Light in Minnesota. Angelo out there in Fort Worth. Groove Vital in Helsinki, Finland. Craig is in New Zealand. DJ Big Red out there in San Antonio. I see you, Big Red. Big Ot, the South Bronx. Yeah, man. Who else we have? Pat Warren in Dayton. Z in California. Mike L in Corpus Christi. My homie Back Porch. I already know. That's my brother right there. Zawaji, Big City State. Anamonarchy out there in Ontario. Tim's on the right feet in Houston. 100 Black. East Palo Alto, Cali. Jay Slat, I appreciate you, man. Come hang out more often, man. And that Oso Jay out there in Huntsville. He said, where's Phantom Face Final? Yeah, where's Phantom Face at tonight? Yeah, man. DJ Brown new up in this thing. Yeah. OG Misen said, long time listener, first time in the chat, man. It's all love. Bruce B out there in Adelaide. That's John Solomon's Island. Tucson, Arizona, Monster Matt. Yeah, man, y'all go to the Underground Dialogue Podcast. Check out the rap draft we did. The rap draft we did, the worldwide rap draft, and we just did the Houston, man. And Point Blank, we just did the Point Blank interview last night. That'll be up next week, so y'all make sure y'all check that out. SPC2G ain't going nowhere. It's alive and well. It ain't going nowhere. Lavish Logos in Wisconsin. James Johnson. We go from Wisconsin to James Johnson. This is my first time. Peace and respect. Yeah, man, respect to you, James. Don't be a stranger. Don't let it be your last. But we're going to keep putting these cats on blast. But please go subscribe to the podcast. Fast. Because that's where we really put them on blast. Rob G. What up, though? Detroit. I see you, Mike. DJ Crazy Red. Mike. Oh, another Mike, okay, in Vermont. All right. Okay, Mike, you're in the 713. Yeah, man, the Point Blank interview was dope, man. Last night, we did it last night, so it'll be up real soon. Y'all will see it. Y'all know I'm on Instagram now, man. Y'all, I'm on Instagram now. Let me put my Instagram down so y'all can see my Instagram. That's my Instagram, y'all. I jumped on with my brother's rap economics. I saw somebody mention that in the comments earlier, man. If y'all want to hear who heard me spitting on rap economics, man. Well, I put it like this. Let's do this. I like to know them, do whatever. Who have not heard or seen my feature on rap economics? Who has not seen it? The knots. I want the knots. If you haven't, go to rap. I think it's rap. Go to Rap Economics on Instagram. On Instagram, Rap Economics, and go check your big brother out. They got all of them on there, all the dope artists. Man, so many rappers that have spit some fire bars on there. But if y'all want to go check your big brother out, just go to Rap Economics on Instagram and on YouTube, I think, too, and just click it. Leave a comment if you're feeling your big brother. I gave him some exclusive stuff, man. Lemon Sour Diesel out there in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, where they show no pity. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't heard it, y'all go check it out tonight, man. You're still going to have Chino XL. I'm ready, man. You know, Chino, man, that's one of the coolest dudes. Him and Immortal Technique, man. Just some cool, humble brothers. It's only one real K-Rino IG now, though, Lance. That's the one I just posted. The real K-Rino 1. Y'all go follow your big brother right now, man. Appreciate that, James Johnson. James Johnson, harder than Charles Bronson. Yeah, appreciate the 7 Kevin. 7 Kevin. Go check me out, Zawaji. Go check me out, Brian. Unholy Kill, go check me out. Groove, go check me out. Magneticus, all y'all. Y'all go check it out. I just gave y'all a link. Yeah, it's on YouTube too. I want y'all to go look at it on Instagram though, as well. Yeah. Shalandra. Appreciate the love, Shalandra. Northside, stand up. Man. Yeah, it's like a minute and a half. Just a nice little, I don't know how many bars it was. Yeah. Demetrius Brown. My wife don't believe you're live right now. Shout out. What's up, Joy? It's your boy. When is the new album? We got something coming in the summertime. Me and my homies out there in Canada. I recorded a whole album in one night when I went to Canada last month. Yeah. You drop them swangs on me, baby. Shout out to my homie, Javon Jefferson, man. It's all good. Y'all go subscribe to the Underground Dialogue podcast, man. Go do that right now and go check out the content. That is right now. I mean, right there. $100 Black. All right. Big Ock, I already know. We got everything back in stock, man. We got both books. We got both my books back in stock, man. Some of y'all might not know that I wrote 2 books. This is the first one, Life Lessons and Lyrics. This talks about my life, my upbringing, me growing up as a young buck, navigating through the mean streets of South Park and Third Ward in the world. And my second book is for all those, my rap heads out there, man. Behind these bars, got that glare on there. That says behind these bars. Not no jail bars, these lyrical bars, these rap bars. And I talk about a lot of my songs that I wrote in the past and what my thought process was when I was writing them. I lay out a lot of my lyrics in this book so you can see how I put the words together and then connected everything. You can see just the creative process that's in this book, man. It's a teaching tool on how to write, on lyricism and all that, man. So if you're into that, go get this book. And y'all can always get it from southparkcoalition.net. That's the website. So put this back. I make that old man noise every time I turn it. Yeah. And I'm gonna keep saying this every time I talk about that Behind These Bars book. That book need to be in schools, need to be in colleges, man. It needs to be a part of somebody's curriculum in terms of teaching the art of writing. But it ain't no classes on teaching how to write lyrics, how to write raps. Keandria. Yeah, the website is up, Bruce. Y'all can order that book like right now. Yeah. I know, Magnetic, because I never put the actual link. I just type it in. I know. I'm too lazy to do audio book. Bun had a class. Bun B had a class he was teaching at Rice, Marty. I actually came and spoke in his class a few years ago. He invited me out to come and speak to his students when he was there. I don't know if he's still doing that, because I know he's been busy doing a lot of stuff. But he did have like a hip hop course that he was a professor over at one point. Yeah. Already. Thank y'all, man, really for subscribing to the podcast, man. Well, you in the hood? Welton, if you in the hood, you know, I'll bring the book to you. Hit me on Facebook. Welton, hit me on Facebook and I'll meet up with you tomorrow, man. I'll come to you. You know what it is. Yeah, Bond was teaching a course, man, a few years back. I don't know if he's still doing it. I thought that was just like the coolest thing, man. I don't know if he's still. Bond been so busy. I don't know if he could still possibly be doing that. You know. Come on, Keandra, you ain't know your uncle had 2 books out? I got to turn around and grab them again. That's book number 1. And that's book number 2. I'll keep them out. You ain't know your uncle had dropped 2 books? I wrote these during the pandemic. Ain't had nothing else to do. You on Zephyr? Okay, all right. Go hit me on Facebook. Jump in my inbox on Facebook, and we'll link up. Just shoot me your number in the inbox, and I'll come to you tomorrow. You right in the hood. Bruce B said, "Is it possible to get Telekinesis album on CD?" You mean this album on CD? Same site, southparkcoalition.net. Same site where you get the book. This is my latest album right here. Shout out to everybody still rocking the CDs. My homie Climax. Y'all didn't know about this one, huh? That Concrete Thoughts with my homie Climax. Don't sleep on this. Go check out my verse. Go check out my flow on Rap Economics. Go check out my flow on Rap Economics, man. I want all of my soldiers that rock with me to go run them numbers up on that Rap Economics verse. I don't know about tomorrow, Lavish. It's hard to say. I could. It'll depend on my schedule, man. If I have some downtime, I might go live, or if I got some on my mind. Yeah. Who is Luo? Big I. Oh, Lupe. I'll say, who is Luo? Lupe. Oh, okay. Demetrius Brown. Haven't heard from Gangsta Nip. Come on, Gangsta Nip is right here on YouTube. Hold on. Let me put Nip's YouTube channel. That's Nip's YouTube right there. Nip is super active. Go subscribe to Nip's YouTube channel. He got some stuff, man. Nip be letting me hear some stuff, man. Y'all don't understand. Some of this new material Nip got, y'all don't understand, bro. Straight up. I don't make beats no more, Z. I don't really make beats no more. Beat making ain't my thing. I mean, even when I did it, I didn't consider myself no actual really great producer. I kind of did it out of necessity at the time. Then I liked it, but then I fell off. Christ is King. I appreciate, man. God is great, bro. I'm happy to hear that, man. Do your thing. Become a good doctor. Don't be one of them doctors that's poisoning the people with them poison pharmaceuticals. What's up, Angela? Scorsese. Okay, UK. When someone refers to hip hop as the temple of hip hop and the gospel of hip hop, is that the quantification of idolatry? Nah, Lord, nah. Because you have to define those two words that probably have you wondering that. Define the word temple. See, temple has multiple meanings, but it's in my eyes, it's rooted in the same thing. So if you say, well, we go to worship inside of the temple, we go to worship inside of the temple, that's just an edifice. That's a building. That's all it is. But the deeper meaning in the true temple is you, your vessel, your physical vessel. So if somebody wants to make a metaphoric statement and say the temple of hip hop, then in my interpretation, that just represents where the elements of hip hop are housed or contained within that temple. So that temple could be this temple because we have all those elements in our mind. We think about the rapping, the DJing, the graffiti, and all of the different components of hip hop. Those things that we love about that art form, they exist within this temple. But the temple does extend beyond that. Now, this is my interpretation, because if you go to a hip hop show and there's hip hop fans inside that hip hop show, and it's a hip hop artist playing hip hop music under a roof, you are now inside of a temple of hip hop. Now, as it relates to the gospel is the good news. You know, it's the truth. So I mean, there's no idolatry in that. Idolatry represents the worship of idols. And I can't speak for an individual who might have it in their mind to worship an entity, whatever it is, outside of God, the Creator Himself. But no, that's not idolatry in my eyes. That's just an admiration for an art form that has saved a lot of people's lives, including my own. That has changed a lot of people's lives through the words. That's just the rap component, but through the entire culture, it's changed a lot. A lot of people wouldn't be where they are if it wasn't for hip hop. So I don't look at it as idolatry. Idolatry is that the foolish worship of an idol, of a thing that gives your life zero value, that adds nothing to you, and that idolatry takes away from the worship of the Creator Himself, who is the only presence that you should be worshiping. So that's just me. I like that question though. Mar A, I'm up and late. This ain't late. It's daytime. What up, Mitchie 450? For those just coming in, be sure to go to the beginning of this live and check it out so you'll get the real meat of what we were actually talking about. We done kind of broke it open to a Q&A, but go get the real depths of what we're talking about. And go subscribe to my podcast. I'm not gonna let y'all off the hook on my podcast, man, until we build it up. We're gonna build it up and build it up and build it up. Dark Universe is up in this thing. KSUE. Yep. The temple is your body, your mind. Thieves in the temple, no more signs and symbols. Much love, man. All right, man. Much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all coming through and kicking it with your big brother. Salute.